Hey guys, welcome back. It is your host with the most, Michaela Mofu, or if you like, Michaela. And we are here with the last OC related video until I feel like making another OC related video. And it's the highly requested Snow. So, as you know, his name is Snow, and he is of currently the age of 14. Now I do want to mention that, and I probably mentioned this like way too many times that you guys are probably annoyed. The story takes place in like parts. So like my story is cut up in like a part 1, part 2, part 3 type thing. And so in the beginning, he is 14. But by the end of the story, he's like around 20. Anyways, let's start off. So my story, Magic's not called Magic, it's called Dama. That's a temporary name, by the way. I'm still working at the name. But yeah, right now it's called Dama. In, the world itself, it's magic levels or Dama levels. And so each level kind of shows if you're new or you're expert or stuff like that. And so Snow is level 3, so he's in like the middle ground where he knows, like he can pretty much decently well control his power. The next thing is that his height is 164 if I recall, as well as his species is human. Alright, on to Snow's appearance. Snow is a young boy with short, refined blue hair. He has a pale skin tone and icy blue eyes. Because of the disguise he wears, it's very unclear as to what's really underneath the mask. His personality. Snow is an aloof and reserved personality, although he is standoffish and easy to anger. He is blunt and often says things that are on his mind without attempting to explain to others what he really means. He's absolutely confident in his skills and is not too afraid to admit that he excels at what he does. And the backstory part I gave him is kind of short. It's like very short. I think it's like the shortest. His background isn't clear, but it's obvious there's a lot weighing in on his mind and how heavy his shoulders seem. Okay, so I'm gonna try to spitball this as best as I can. This is my second time recording this audio, by the way. I will be talking about a bit of his time during Root and after Root. Snow, he was living in the royal palace and whatnot, and up until around like 6 or 7, and then he was shipped off to Root. And so Root is a subdivision organization that may or may not be a part of Vanguard, but I think I said it was a part of Vanguard. It's a division where they take more missions for like king. It's like very secret, top secret type of mission. And so he was a part of that at a very young age. This is the reason why Snow is the way he is, because everything he's experienced and everything he's seen being a part of Root is what made him the person he is today. Something happens to Snow, but Snow wasn't as cold and as aloof as he was in the beginning. He was a happy boy, and for what it's worth, when in the beginning of being a part of Root, it actually seemed very awesome to be a part of. It was fun. He had people to sort of talk to, and everyone kind of treated each other like family. Now granted, they're all not related, and also he never saw everyone as like a family, but roughly he felt like it was, until eventually Snow befriends someone and he grows closer with this person. Now, if you guys have watched my animatic, Beneath the Mask animatic, I actually showcase past Snow in that animatic and a little bit his time in Root. And the person actually, the first frame is literally the person who he's like friends with. Like it's a bit of future and past Snow. And like I said, become friends with them. And they train together, they work together, eat together. But something happens that eventually burns those bridges. So because of that, it really hurt Snow a lot. Then not only that, something else happened to Snow, which is the reason why he developed like these reflexes where if someone were to touch him in any way, it's just like it's a reflex, but he aggressively,
lashes out.
That's just like a couple of things like I'm trying to say without really getting into fair details of what that means. But I hope you guys can understand what I mean, because it's like part of Snow's story is a bit depressing, and also sometimes I just don't like writing it because it's sad. My channel at most is like PG, right? So like I don't want to, it's like PG-13 whatever, but I just don't want to get into like very topics. That was a bit of his time in Root. It was a good experience until eventually it was not, and hated any fiber of being a part of Root. But because he was put into it at such a young age, and he still has a mindset of being, a part of Root and stuff like that, so he can't help but like you know, still feel some connection. So it's hard to kind of like draw away that life that he's been a part of for almost like 10 plus years. Now I'm talking about a little after his time of being a part of Root. He finally managed to get out of Root. He was emotionally damaged, so much so that he basically was in a way done with life. Eventually he does meet someone else, and it takes a lot, but it's basically his mentor, and basically she gives him the motivation to fight for something. And so eventually he joins Vanguard. Like I said, he wears a mask because it's not like he really has to, really, because like I said, he's not really a part of Root anymore, but because like I said, he's been with it for so long that it's kind of hard to draw away that identity. Eventually he meets Kiba, Rambo, and Shu, which is in chapter 3 of my story, which I haven't even wrote, but I got like a general idea of what that chapter consists of. He was actually on a mission in that chapter to take care of like the copycat that's roaming around in the village and causing havoc. Throughout that entire time of him also trying to do his mission, this is also when Kiba comes to that same village, and so that's how they meet. So I made another animatic. All my animatics does have a little bit of my story. So the chase animatic is actually chapter 3, and it's like the chase scene. The first question I got and I received, thank you so very much. Now granted, like I said, there are probably more questions, and I'm sorry if I don't get to answer all of them, but I will try my best to answer somewhat of them. And if you do have a comment, of course, that I did not answer, just leave it down in the comments below and I'll answer them. So let's get into it. So the first question I got was, any lovers? So very funny enough, in the beginning of the story, my story does have a tint of little bit of potential romance, but it's not like a main factor. It's kind of like a sub-genre type of thing. My story is very more focused on like that adventure fantasy aspect, but of course I won't shy away from romance. It will of course be in my story, but just not like a big thing, if that makes sense. Snow previously, if I haven't already said it in his backstory, because I am recording this before I record the backstory, so sorry if there's just a lot of repeating, but Snow did have somebody sort of like that, but like it was like kind of young love, if that makes sense. Something happened and that kind of burned the bridges without spoiling. Later it does get better, at least I like to think it gets better, and Snow does get some form of a of course that character I will not reveal because I don't want to talk about it right now, but I will sometime soon, and you guys probably sort of see it. If you guys watch my animatics, you guys would kind of see, what I'm talking about. I hint at certain relationships with my characters, and so if you kind of like catch on, you will understand. There was especially one animatic in particular that's so obvious and so like, it's like, oh wow, that's so obvious, but maybe some people didn't catch on, but I'm just throwing it out there. So you take that information as you will. The next question is, do they have any hobbies? So basically Snow has a sort of hobbies. It's okay, so a lot of the things he likes is work related. He's sort of almost like a workaholic in a way, but it's only just because he was trained as a perfect child soldier, if that makes sense. The hobbies he'll probably have is very more work related. He doesn't have anything where it's actually just for fun or it's just to just relieve stress. Besides like maybe a few, like he likes to kind of fish and stuff like that, and there's a couple others, but fishing I think is the only thing that's coming in my head right now. Yeah, if I do have more, of course I'll of course leave it in the comments down below. You guys know that. Anyways, the next question is, are they a main character or are they a side character? Now Snow is definitely the main character, or not the main character. He's not Kiba the main character, but he is definitely I don't know what they call him, dual protagonist or something. I will put the word up because I promise you I do not know how to pronounce it. Deuteragonist. But they're like the secondary protagonist, if that makes sense. So Snow is, yes, the secondary protagonist, but the story is mainly going to follow Kiba's footsteps. But of course there'll be times that Kiba is not in a chapter, so it will take point of view of somebody else like Snow or Rambo or Shu. That's why it's kind of hard for me to be like all of them are like side characters or main characters when they all have their own kind of like role in the story. That makes sense. All right, next batch of questions. So this one's also very fun. I love all the questions you guys like send me. It's awesome to like answer. Anyways, what are his friends' opinion on him? That's very interesting. I'm gonna try to keep it short and concise. I promise you, maybe like a phrase or a word. Okay, so in the beginning, Kiba thinks he's a jerk, which, I mean, to be honest, is understandable because, you know, Snow does have very confidence in his skill and what he does, if that's one thing to, you know, say. Rambo was very scared of Snow in the beginning. It was just more so, like I said, related to the first early chapters. If you, well, you guys probably would have read that chapter because I haven't even made it. But in chapter 3, all my OCs get introduced in that chapter, and something happens between Rambo and Snow that he kind of like was a little, or, you know, scared of him for like a little bit. And of course, like I said, they grow as friends, and, you know, he doesn't think anything like that with Snow. He messes and teases with Snow a lot too. Shu, on the other hand, was very more serious when it came to anything related to Snow. Of course, Shu was like, oh, Snow, what is he always thinking? We never know what he's thinking. Of course, like, that slowly came down. He started to see that Snow is more to him, you know what I mean? So he's not all serious. He starts seeing more sides to Snow, that maybe his opinion of him slowly changed over time. But in the beginning, that's kind of how all of them feel for him. But like I said, later in the series, they all, you know, very deeply care for Snow and, you know, only want the best for him. So yeah. What does he think of his friends? So he thinks of all his friends, quotation marks. He doesn't really consider none of them friends, especially not in the beginning half of the story, barely at most. He has a mentor. That's like the only person he sort of like talks to, like on a basis where it's not like so professional. With his friends, on the other hand, he's very more closed off. And so I would say for all of them, he thinks they're, you know, like I said, they're idiots. Or he's, you know, a tad bit better than them in that circumstance. But Kiba, he thinks he's overall just a moron, a naive person who doesn't understand the world itself and how it works. He thinks that, you know, Shu is another like idiot like character because, you know, Shu was not always serious. I do want to throw that out there. She was probably like the most, in quotation marks, the comedian of the group. And then Rambo, on the other hand, he originally thought he was just a thieving little guy who, you know, just lies and stuff like that. But like I said, by the end of chapter 3, his opinion of him slightly changes to something that's not that great, but it's a bit of a better opinion than just a lying thief. I rambled on like so much, and when it's sometimes just simple answers, I'm sorry, but like as you can tell, I do get passionate when it comes to my OCs, in particular Snow. So his comfort foods, he likes to eat sweets. Like not like when I say sweets, I don't mean like cakes type thing. He likes to just like, he likes popsicles and stuff like that. Like he actually cools down and likes eating popsicles. That's like one of the like random little, it's like one of the little random funny things. There's another random funny thing that I do want to mention that is like so cute for like Snow, because it's like a thing you wouldn't expect with his character, but it has something to do with hugs and how hugs affect him. It's very cute, I promise you, but I don't want to spoil too much because like it's too deep into the story where, you know, but it's something to do with that, and it's the most cutest thing I gave him. It's more like a character development type of thing. I'm sorry, it's confusing, but trust me, it's so cute when I think about it. Anyways, the next batch of questions. I'm sorry, I'm like feeling girling a little bit on my own OCs. I don't know how they work. The next set of questions is friends, family. Well, I'll get into spoilers if I haven't already really said much in the backstory. If I said this in the backstory, then just discard what I'm just saying right now. But basically, friends or family. He does eventually get friends or people he could at least depend on. He, like I said in the beginning, he does not consider them friends at all. They're just kind of there to kind of help him in some cases. That's how he sees it. They're just like co-workers, if that's the best way to call them. He doesn't call them friends. Like he never really thinks of them as friends. But yeah, like I said, he does get, you know, co-worker friends. So family. His family is a part of his character. Any dark secrets he of course does, and he has done a lot of things that he doesn't really want to of course tell Kiba, Shu, or Rambo. There's things in his heart that he know he's done that he know he doesn't feel, you know, happy that he has done. But you know, being a part of Root, you do things and you see things that, you know, maybe your morals don't really align with, but is a part of the mission. The next question is favorite color. Very more simple little topic that just kind of came into all like the questionly sad stuff. So the favorite color, he likes blue. He also likes yellow. So purpose in life. Ooh, that's a very deep question. What his purposes in life is to just provide for the king, and not only that, just to fulfill missions. He doesn't feel like he has any self-worth enough that like he should like do things that he wants to do, you know what I mean? There was such a push mindset when he was younger that, you know, work for, you know, the kingdom and all this other type of stuff, and work for Root in particular, that he doesn't fully, he thinks he knows basically the purpose of his life is to fulfill the duties of being, you know, a Vanguard. Oh, I did want to mention that these are questions that I'm now just getting after I just recorded all my questions audio, and I just now got it. So now I'm like, oh shoot, I already edited and recorded all of like the audio questions, but this set of questions also just came in, so I'm gonna also try to answer them. The video for Snow's be long. I hope you guys enjoy. Anyways, next question. How did Snow canonically get his name Snow? So, without spoilers, his mom, on the hour of winter, which basically in my world, the time is chalked up by elements. So it's kind of like, say, for instance, the hour of light, the hour of dark, stuff like that. That's like, oh, it's morning, oh, it's dark. So the hour of winter is basically when it was winter in story. And the hours of winter coming in, Snow's mom was in labor. Like I said, I'm trying to really not say nothing, but during that whole process of her, you know, giving birth to Snow, it was a lot of stress and a lot of like crazy things happening all at once. Not only with just Snow being born, but just in general. She had to be quick with basically, you know, having him, even though like you can't really rush, you know, labor and pregnancy. So anyways, basically, after a long trial of, you know, screaming and agony and pain, she finally had Snow. And basically, at that exact moment when Snow came, it snowed. So as it was snowing, she looked out into the window and then noticed that. And for some reason, something came up to her to name him Snow. And that's it. I try to be as very quick and simple, and also, yes, it is kind of cute and sad. Very sad, but leaving the sad stuff out. So yeah. Anyways, the second question I got is, what inspired Snow's design? So I said this before in another OC video or something like that. Originally, Snow's design was from a game fandom I was in. It was like a mobile game I think I was playing, and I was really into like that mobile game. So much so that I made fan characters originally, which were Kiba and Snow, and they was in this like game universe. But then eventually I love Kiba and Snow's story so much so that I took them out of that game fandom and just made them my own OCs. So that's just a quick TLDR. Next question is, does Snow have abilities / powers we don't know about yet? Now really, you guys don't know about none of my OC's powers, really, if I want to be completely honest. I think the only OC I actually just outright told you guys the power of was literally Shu, and it's the fact that he can do alchemy, create like sand and stuff like that. I never tell you guys what Rambo's power is. I never even tell you guys what even Kiba has, or like his markings and what that whole thing is. So Snow for sure does have a power. I just never tell you guys. He has a power, and not only does he have a power, he also has a secret power that you guys don't know about. And it's only just because I really haven't even revealed it in my story, and it's still just a concept at the moment. And yeah, but I have hinted at it. If you guys watch my video, you will probably at least heard me mention it before. It was very brief, and to be honest with you, like, it depends on how you read it. But there was one person, it was one of my subscribers. I'm not gonna say what, and I'm not gonna say who, but they were actually pretty spot on. That's all I'm gonna say. What is Snow's last name? Okay, Snow's last name is redacted. I will not be telling you guys. He does have a last name. I think out of all my OCs, weirdly enough, he actually does have a last name. He doesn't know it at the same time. So the next question is kind of more chill and a little bit funny. What would Snow do if he was hit in the back with a snowball? Trust me, it probably wouldn't happen. But if it did happen, which, you know, Kiba probably did it or something. I can just totally see Kiba doing that. Snow will make a whole freaking blizzard happen. That's just, yeah. He will make a whole blizzard happen and then a freaking snow monster. And he would chase after all of them. He would basically do that. Just that petty over one snowball, while he's also chasing them with like a bigger snowball. He gets petty. And the last question is, what is the reason why Snow is so secretive? What does he have to hide and why? Now that is too big of a jump to really tell you why he does what he does, because spoilers, story spoilers. Okay, so Root, right? Root is a sub-organization of another organization that is a part of Vanguard, right? So Vanguard is like this like whole royal guard, basically, if you think about it like that. And Root is like a subdivision that takes on more difficult missions, normally just for the king anyways. And very often they do not really reveal themselves. They wear masks. And so Snow, he wears a mask because of that. Because he's a part of the organization, because he, can't reveal his identity. So that's one factor. But at the same time, when the story begins, there's a lot that happened that Snow's not actually still part of Root. But he still wears the mask because, he still has ties to it. Even though he tries to throw it away, it's kind of hard and impossible almost. He doesn't necessarily have to hide, but because that's all he's known, being as a child literally put into that organization, very young age by the way, that's all he knows. And for what he knows, this is literally him. This is what the mask defines him in that way, and it makes him feel like this is him. He can't be any more than that. Okay guys, so this is the last question that I am receiving. There are actually a couple more questions. Some of them seem a little bit like something I already answered in this segment. The last question, and I kind of briefly talked about it, but I'll go more into it. So the question is basically, when do we get to see Snow's face? I do really want to mention that I weirdly hyped his face reveal up so much. A part of me also wish I didn't do that, because then people's expectations of him may end up feeling like, oh well. Regardless, like I said, it genuinely does make me happy to hear how much you guys enjoy Snow's character, want to know more about him, the whole mystery with the behind the mask, and so I don't want to prolong this any longer than it needs to. If you guys can wait just a tad bit longer, you guys will see it in the videos to come, somewhere in one of my animatics. Hopefully you actually see maybe something. I won't say nothing, just keep your eyes out. I won't say nothing about it until I drop it. So yeah, those are so far all the questions I got. Thank you so very much for giving me all these questions. I seriously enjoyed answering them. Okay, and that is the last video of my OC creation, making meet my OC type of thing, because I may Scrabble. I'm joking, I'm not, but I am going to of course change a lot more details in the story. So I'm sorry if I was a bit more vague when it came to a lot of stuff, because of the fact that there's such a placeholder concept that I'm not fully convinced that I want to actually do. And not only that, like I said, I've been feeling a little down with my story lately, and I don't know, it's been kind of hard. It's just hard trying to figure out why I want the story to go. I want to tell a story. I really want to tell a good one, or at least a decent one. And it's a lot to consider and a lot to think about. But yeah, like I said, overall, the details I have told about the characters are somewhat accurate, and it still will happen, but maybe some things of course would change. And of course the things that would change, you guys probably won't really know, because I didn't really talk about it, so you guys wouldn't even know if it changed or not. But like I said, Snow was a highly asked for OC about, in terms of what he is and just about him in general. And it genuinely makes me so happy that you guys put so much energy and love and support into not only my art but my OCs and my story, or where I'm trying to go with it. Because like I said, I'm with Keeping Snow Stories, I'm very serious and want to create it as a comic. I had loads of comic ideas when I was younger, but I just never did it because I was always scared in my storytelling, my art, and a lot of other stuff. But genuinely, you guys don't know how much it motivates me to one day make a comic with them and you guys can read it. Genuinely, I'm not lying to you guys. It makes my day. It makes me so happy when I read your comments about it, and just your genuine curiosity. I love you guys. Anyways, sorry for the little random gush, but genuinely I do. So, like I said, this is the last OC related video until maybe I end up making like another video where I'll maybe update all the information or whatever. If you guys do want to see more OC related content or just, you know, some more stuff about it, then I, of course, will make it if you guys want me to. But until then, I'm sadly gonna be retiring this until I feel the need of talking about it again. And yeah, so I seriously hope you guys enjoyed the video. Seriously, I do. And I will be seeing you guys until next time. Stay Mofu and Mofus.